Hello, future bestsellers. Happy NaNoWriMo. Like, woo. we need a little, we need a little like celebration thing. I do have my celebration crown on to kick off NaNoWriMo today. I'm super excited though. I love NaNoWriMo.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it's the once a year event for writers that most people look forward to. I'm not going to be doing it officially this year, but I'm still going to use it to try to get some work done unofficially.
Well, I think a lot of nano projects are sort of unofficial nano projects. Like
Yeah.
I am definitely going to be writing 50,000 words this month, but I'm working on a nonfiction project. So like to me that counts. So and I
Yeah.
don't do like the whole I used to do the whole thing with the website and all this track your but I found that it just took so much time. So I'm going to participate, but I'll be writing I'll be cheating and writing nonfiction.
Yeah. My goal is to get through, not so much nano, but by the end of the year, get through the kind of horror story novella,
Mhm.
finish that draft, and get the first draft done of my craft book. That is the goal. So that next year I'm working on finalizing projects and moving along.
That is fantastic. I'm very I always like to do like a little wrap up at the end of the year, and my year has not looked like I thought it was going to, but it has been pretty productive. So I'm interested in how I'm going to feel when it all shakes out. Let's say hi to some of our friends, and then we'll come back and do our quick little intros. Let's see. Oh, this is you. Hi, Robert. Arcia is here. Yeah, I love this. We have like lucky four-leaf clovers and jack-o'-lanterns. Love that.
Is
Love
the
that.
Silver Shamrock from Halloween 3. Know the mask with
Oh,
3 more days till Halloween.
I should know. You know what? I should know that. The horror geek will probably be mad at me later because I did not know that fun fact. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Ladies here. Hello. So glad to see you. Bailey's here. Hello. We are super excited to do some writing sprints this morning. Happy NaNoWriMo. So before we get going today, let's go ahead and quickly do our intros. If you guys are wondering, where is Michelle this morning? She has taken off on a van life adventure today, and she will be back with us next week, but will be from somewhere out on the road, which is kind of cool. So it's not for me. I appreciate that other people like love that, and I think it sort of looks like a cool thing, but knowing myself, I know I would not do well. First of all, even like on a 3-hour drive, I have to stop like 8 times to go to the bathroom and get a snack. So just that, there's no way I could make it anywhere long term, but I just don't like to be in the car that long. Would you take a van vacation?
um, it depends. I mean, that sort of thing sounds interesting. I watch it on YouTube and all the camping videos, and
Right.
it looks fun, but I don't know if it would be fun for a prolonged period.
Yeah, I just am like, oh, yeah. And I love to be outside. I like to be like at the beach. Can I just van life to the beach and back? Yes. Yes, I can do that.
Yeah.
Sisters, authors, friends in Canada. Hello. We are super glad you are here today. Cassie's here today. Debbie's here today. Hello. We're super excited to see you guys. I know everybody is super excited for NaNoWriMo. So before we get going with our first warm-up sprint, because we're going to try and get 20-minute 20-minute sprints in today, because I know everybody's raring to go with their word count. Let's do our intros real quick, and then we'll get going with our first 5-minute warm-up. Robert, tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
Well, I am the story detective, and my channel takes various forms of storytelling, including stuff from writing and narrative art from my time at Marvel, and various things, and just put them under a Sherlockian microscope and break down the craft to give the viewer a better journey than hopefully I had. There's like over 100 videos there, even though my channel hasn't been that active. I did, funny story, since I was writing a chapter in my craft book on villains, I went back to watch an older video on villains, and I had some interesting things to tell myself.
It's good when you can learn from yourself.
Yes, I would say go check it out. Check out that video and then move along from there. I think my channel was ahead of its time. It just didn't have the right viewers because it's
Yeah.
YouTube.
right. Well, you're just starting out. You should drop a link to that in the chat so everybody can take a peek at it. Devin's here. Hello. All right, you guys, let us know what you are planning on working on today. Let's go ahead and get started with our 5-minute warm-up sprint. This is where if you are new to sprinting, we are going to get started with that 5 minutes, and you can get your document open, get your giant vat of coffee or iced tea or whatever it is that you are drinking, water, and get yourself ready to roll today. I'm excited because I already got my word count first thing this morning. I got up early. It was a little cold, so we didn't walk until later. And I was like, just knock that out right before the sprint. In fact, as you noticed, Robert, I was almost late for our sprint this morning. I came in at like 4 minutes till, which is late even for me. And that's because I was like trying to get that last little bit. So I have almost 2,000 words this morning. So Amy's here. Hello, Amy. Devin's here. Just dropped in to make friends with the life guide, but I have to go. Watching my daughter on her third solo trip on flying. What? That's amazing. Yeah. All right. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for your daughter. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and warm up with our first 5-minute warm-up sprint. Dun, da, da. Okay. Just make this big. All right. We are going to start with our first sprint. Let us know in the chat what you're going to be working on today and whether or not you're going to be participating in NaNoWriMo. Did I introduce myself today? Hi, I'm Lisa Daly. I'm a best-selling hybrid author, both traditionally published and indie published, of romantic comedies and nonfiction advice. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. Let's start with that. All right, here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Sprint. All right, we are back. I'm so on fire today. All right, so let's go ahead and look at our chat. Let's see how everybody is doing. For you guys, Robert has thrown up his villains video on YouTube. As I recall, that was a really good one. So, yeah, so you definitely want to check that out. I will try to remember to put that in the description later for those of you who are not in the chat. I will try to be good about that. Sisters, authors, friends in Canada, finally working on my YA thriller. Yay! Got my schedule changed at work so I can write on what? Aw, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. That is really cool. All right, so I'm working on my nonfiction book today. It's actually a nonfiction book about how to write nonfiction and how meta is that. And how about you, Robert? What project are you working on today?
I'm working on my horror novella. I got to an interesting point with it last night, so I'm going to continue with it a bit today.
Ooh, pretty nice. And that's the project that you're sort of nanoing, even though you're not
I'm
nanoing.
sort of nanoing. It's short, so I'm closing on the halfway point of it already, so that's not a problem to get it finished.
That's good. I get that. All right, Debbie's going to be working on her comic strip today. That is fantastic. No chat, no notes. StreamYard must be slow today. All right. Well, let's do this since we do not have other stuff popped up yet, which is so odd. I'm so sorry, guys. Because of that, we will go ahead and launch right into our first 20-minute writing sprint because we don't want to waste any time.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, right. So let us know what you're working on in the chat. Here we go. Amy's saying drafting a private label product presentation for a client. Ooh, love that.
Nice.
Cassie working on a new draft of a crime thriller I've been working on lately. Krista, football surprise baby romance. What? Yes, I'm here for that. Sisters, will your nonfiction book include help with writing blogs? I'm terrible about it when it comes to writing blogs. That is a really great question. I am actually working on a blog about writing blogs, but my nonfiction book is really about how to write a nonfiction book, in particular, a how-to or self-help book. So I'm excited about that. There's so much of my book coaching that is centered around writing nonfiction books. And so I just thought and people have asked me to write a book about it for a while. So that's what I'm doing. And it's been really fun. I totally nerd out about book coachy stuff. So it's been a super fun project. I'm really excited about it. All right, let's do our very first writing sprint. We're going to put 20 minutes up on the clock here. I have some good NaNoWriMo questions that have come in over the last few days, so I'm super excited about that. We're going to get to those after our first break, but let's go ahead and do our very first 20-minute NaNoWriMo writing sprint. Here we go, guys. You've got this in you. You're going to make it happen. Let's get those words on the page. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's cha-cha.
Okay. Looks like Lisa might be.
I'm here. Hold on. I didn't realize I went up to use the restroom. Hold on. There we go. I got up to use the restroom and I apparently forgot to turn my camera back on when I came back. So let me just stop all this stuff. So I was here the whole time. I just spaced it out and didn't realize until I came back to the screen. So anyway, hi, glad to see you guys. So how did everybody do on that last sprint?
I did well.
Yeah. I did too, judging by the fact that I did not realize what time it was.
Always a good sign when you're caught up in it.
Exactly. Dawdling Writers here. Hello. We are all super excited about Nano. Very nice. Daisy started querying Journey, 20 cent, 1 full, 8 rejections, feeling a bit anxious. A full request is always a good thing, and it only takes 1. But I'm sure that you will get some more. It's nice. So did you get any good feedback on your rejections? I think that helps sometimes. I mean, to be fair, everybody has different opinions. And so sometimes you'll get feedback that's like, well, this is over here and this is it, and there's no sort of consensus, and that usually means there's something wrong, but people aren't quite putting their finger on it. But a lot of times if you're getting your queries back with rejections, but they're all saying like, oh, I didn't feel a connection to the main character, or oh, this, there's this, or oh, it feels like it's a little soggy in the middle, that if you get several notes that are similar in sort of theme or main idea, then that can be a really good way to know what to focus on for the next round.
Yeah, and let's not forget, a full request out of 20 is amazing.
That is amazing. You know what? I think we know what Daisy has coming. Ready? You've got this, Daisy. We are here for you. All right. I'm super excited about that. Cassie got 337 words. That is fantastic. I have no idea what my word count is. I will have to go back and look. Because again, I was what is happening right now? Amy's got her outline organized, info sorted, coordinated, next step, expanding about section. Very nice.
Also, Amy, I want to hear your opinion of Ahsoka if you watched it.
Ooh, interesting. All right. So I know, right? There's nothing worse than that. It's good too. I always like those. No one likes rejection letters, but it's always good to get rejection notes that are they're so close. They really wanted to buy it, and there's just something that's holding them back, because those are the ones that are the easiest to solve.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. All right. Heather's got some Canva, Facebook group promo. Very nice. Swinton's here. Hello. Look at you setting up the pre-sale of your book. Nice work. Very nice. Bailey, 847 words. That is phenomenal. Great job. Very nice. Krista, working on my outline, not so many words, but good momentum. You know what? It all counts. We don't always do. I figured for Nano that I'd ask folks what they did for their word count today, because a lot of times you're just trying to get those big numbers in. But when you're thinking or editing or working on an outline, that's all book work. That all counts. So
yeah, if you think about it, the Nano quota for the day really isn't that much. It's just a matter of making the time for it, especially in November.
Right.
But I've read somewhere that actually if you're more present with your work and you're just trying to enjoy it and be in the moment with it, you're actually more productive than when you're trying to, at least for some people, trying to push ahead.
I just read an article about this, and I cannot remember where it was. I think maybe the New York Times, but it was basically about the same topic, that this is why I think the gamification of work is so popular, such a popular topic right now, because if you can make it fun, it doesn't feel as much like work. You don't feel like you're dragging your butt all the time. And that is the thing that's often missing when you are really struggling with your writing, is just the joy of the writing. Yeah. I know that's definitely when I struggle. Like if my to-do list is 18 miles long and I just have a million things coming at me, I you start to lose that joy, and it makes everything more challenging. It makes it harder to write, harder to get your word count, all of that stuff. So you want
Yeah,
to,
this year I read a couple of books on business. One was an older book written in like the early 1900s. Another was a more modern book. And the difference between the two is the older book said, if you do all that you can in a day, but don't try to do tomorrow's work or a week's worth of work in a day, but just do all you can, the best that you can, and make each day a success. If you're successful in the little things, you can't help but be a success in the bigger things, compared to the modern book that says, basically shoot first, ask questions later, decisions on the fly, and expect to fail 50% of the time, but you'll still end up further ahead in the game just by
right,
pushing and pushing.
right.
There's some truth in that, but you have to kind of combine the two and
That's
figure
just
out
a
what
recipe
to do.
for burnout, though, isn't it? And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I do that on a regular basis. I know that the difference between, like, let's say you can get 10 things done on your to-do list every day, and if you put 10 things on your to-do list and you get 10 things done, you're going to feel great. But if you have 20 things on your to-do list and you get 10 things
Mhm.
done, you're going to feel like crap. I am so far behind today. And the truth is, you can't go any higher. Like, you can't get any more than the 20 things that you have to do, or the 10 things that you have to do done. But it's how you perceive it. And
Right.
I'm trying to make my daily to-do list shorter for that very reason. But
The best
there,
tip that I've learned this year, and I think
uh-huh.
it would work for Nano too, is I have my little chalkboard calendar, and there's about 9 or 10 lines on the thing that I've ruled out, and I will list 9 things to do each day. And most of the time, if I list those in the morning, it kind of gets in
Mhm.
my head that this is what I need to do, and I'll get at least 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 9. It took
Right.
a couple of months to start building it up, but it really works. It's almost like telling your brain, "Here's what I'm gonna do today," early on,
Right.
and it kind of finds a way to do it.
I think so. So every morning of Nano, wake up and say, "I'm gonna write 1,667
Yeah.
words." That's gonna happen. All right. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do our second sprint today. I don't know if I put this up. Lainey got 847 words. It's
Cool.
She's killing it today. And Heather made a fresh pot of coffee. Yay. All right. That is fantastic. Okay, guys, we are going to make this second one count. I'm going to leave my camera on this time. Let's try that. Hold on. Oh, you know what? It might be helpful if I actually got our correct timer up. I ended up from the beachy timer to like cozy winter scenes. It's not really for us today. So, all right, everybody, we are going to kill it. We're doing great today. This is an awesome day,
We are.
and let's get started to write in 3, 2, 1. Let's cha cha.
Okay.
It did it again. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Let me just stop the share. All right. Very, very nice, everybody. How did you guys do in that last sprint? How'd you do, Robert?
I did pretty well. I chopped out some unnecessary stuff from the previous draft, and I think it tightened things up nicely.
Very, very nice. Awesome. Amy did says sprint. Yeah. And Mama Ward is here. Thank you so much for the like. We sure appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. I am excited. I feel like things are really going. There we go. Goodness gracious, 400 words, 403. Let's not short you any words at all. That is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I got 789 for sprint number 1, and let me just look here. 602 for number 2. That's not bad. That's a lot for me. I think probably because I don't usually do that many in 20 minutes, but I think because I'm already like super in the zone that it's done pretty well. So I'm feeling good. I don't know. I might end up with a 4K word count by like the end of the thing today because I got like 2,000 this morning.
Yeah, I should
So
figure out
yeah.
exactly what I did here. I added a lot of new stuff and chopped some old out. So where did I get?
Ooh, Dawdling Writer finally got working title, mock-up cover, updated on the Nano website. Love that. Krista's almost got the chapter outlined. That is fantastic. Absolutely amazing. So so what were you going to say? What was your update there, Robert?
After cutting a whole bunch of stuff out, I ended up with like 264 words total.
I think if you edit words out, you should be able to count those too. They were
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they're not there anymore, but yeah. So the first question, I did not write this down yet. The first question that I wanted to answer for NaNoWriMo was what happens at the end? And I thought that was such an interesting question. Here's the question right here. What happens at the end of NaNoWriMo? Because obviously the goal is to get 50,000 words. And so the biggest thing that happens is that you will have accomplished your goal or not. Right. But you will hopefully pushed yourself in a way and sort of expanded your ability to write quickly and maybe overcome some obstacles. So that's always a good thing. But there are lots of things that happen at the end of Nano. Sometimes people will, edit those books and they end up being published. My first Nano book was eventually published by Penguin, and that first 50,000 words was pretty close to what I did during Nano. Obviously, it required some good editing, but yeah. So there's that. Some people just stick it in a drawer and never look at it again. I think it's for different people, they have different goals. So what about you, Robert? What do you think happens at the end of Nano?
Well, getting your book finished, even if you don't get it finished, it's getting words written. And if you use Nano correctly, you'll still get more written in November than you do on the average. And then if you win, you can, if you don't have it already, get Scrivener at half price. I've used Scrivener a little bit more over the past year than I usually do, which I've been a little hit and miss with it, but there's a lot to do in there. I'm just like open a word processor and start writing, but Scrivener gives you a lot of options. And I'm currently working in a nonfiction template. All the chapters are separated, but at the end you fuse it together and it kind of like formats your book for you. So that's kind of interesting.
It does. It definitely is. I use Scrivener for years. I don't use it so much anymore. It's kind of funny because when I was talking with, there's a new writing software called ButterDocs, which is absolutely free right now. And it has so many of the features of Scrivener. Here, I'm going to just drop it in right here. They just launched. a couple of like a week ago, I think on the 25th. So if you go to ButterDocs, you can still get into their beta program for free, which is kind of cool, but it has a lot of similar features to Scrivener, but it also has some features that are that Scrivener doesn't have. The one thing that I did not care for about Scrivener that would always frustrate me is the compiling. That I always felt like there were always sort of issues with that. Like I really struggled with Scrivener with that. And it would eventually always work out. And there were many things about Scrivener that I absolutely loved. But that was the thing that would get me. Like you're so excited at the end of the book, and then every time I would have this like technical issue or I couldn't get it to go. And then, it's not like you're doing it like the same thing every week. So by the time you finished your next book, you forgot what you did the first time. I think for me, here's what you should do, Robert. You should like do a Loom video of yourself doing the compile function. And that way, if you have to solve a problem, you will have a video of it later that you can go back to after your next book.
That sounds interesting. I
I
am
should have done
keeping a
that.
copy of it in my regular pages on my MacBook, just so I have a backup copy. And it's
That's
all
really
kind of
smart.
compiled there. So if anything goes wrong, I have that.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody in the chat, what are you guys planning to do with your book at the end of Nano? Are you going to publish it? Is that the plan? Are we just using Nano as like a giant group writing sprint that happens all over the world? Is this your first time? Are you planning to publish it? Is it just sort of part of the usual? I don't know if I got this or not. Cassie got 268, 968 so far today.
Nice.
That is
Beat me by
awesome.
4 words.
Nice. Love that. You're gonna have to work a little harder next time, Robert.
Mhm.
That's how I like to do it. I used to always try to beat Caro because she would always like cream us. She'd have like 800 words just on a random Wednesday. Mama Ward is getting ready to work on converting Daisy the Werecow shorts into a novel and decided to roll Charlotte and Alpha Luna's Omega rejected rogue cousin into the beginning because Daisy the cow and Charlotte the wolf end up as traveling buddies. That's cool. Getting through Nano with the words means edit Sember starts the next day. That's pretty funny. Preptober, edit Sember. Love that. Never used Scrivener, but I've struggled with working offline because of my rural internet. I found it more of a struggle than Google Docs. I totally appreciate that. Krista says, publish. I haven't published this year, so anything that gets me writing again is good. I feel ya. I have had years like that. 2020 comes to mind. Bailey, at the end of Nano, my plan is to edit CP work. I'm sorry, I'm having like a total brain fart here. Robert, edit /CP. Let's just say edit, and then send it to my agent for submission.
Copy
What?
protect.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So tell us what you mean, Bailey. For some reason, I'm sure it's like the most obvious thing in the world, and for some reason, my brain is like, phew. So. Caro does have hummingbird fingers. That is absolutely the truth. Absolutely the truth. All right. Here we go. It's 12:12 Eastern. Should we do another sprint? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all about the sprints today. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see if I can get. Oh, once again, I have ended up back on the cozy winter scene. That's not exactly us. All right, here we go. We're going to try this one more time. StreamYard's causing me a little trouble today. I'm not quite sure what that is. I don't want to jinx it or anything. All right, here we go.
Gremlins.
Yes, exactly. Well, Amy's here. That's why. We love you, Amy, but we know what you bring with you. All right, here we go. We are going to get started on our next round of sprints. Ready, everybody? Get your little fingers all exercised. Here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's ride. All right. I did it this time. I'm all excited. Like we're already winning here because I have managed to get the camera turned back on and and all that other stuff ahead of time. So, how did you guys do on that last sprint? Let us know in the chat. How did you do, Robert?
I'll have to check. Let's see. Is it a win this time? Oh yeah, it's more than last time.
I seem to be going down as the sprint. Usually I get more and more, but I think because I had already written quite a lot, or I don't know, maybe it's like this thing. So how'd you do?
427 words. So
Get out! Get out! That is awesome. Very, very nice. Bailey clarified for us. CP was Critique Partners. Somebody just tried to call me. Critique Partners. Swinton's has won 3 nanos participating, but it's more about making consistent progress than a daily word count. Very, very nice. Mama Ward's going to send me some cozy winter weather, plenty of snow in Colorado. I don't know if you know this, but I actually grew up in Denver. So when I think of snow, I think of light, airy, fluffy Colorado snow, not that like soppy, wet snow of like Minnesota. Let's see. No dig to Minnesota. I also live there temporarily, so I'm familiar with the quality of different snow. Heather is listening, using Nano as a way to get words down at the end of November. I may still be working on my novel, but I would like to finish by the end of the year. Very nice. Very nice. Critique Partner. Very, very much. Thank you very much for clarifying. Krista got half a chapter outlined. Yes. Very nice. Ooh, goodness gracious. I've upgraded 441. Yeah.
Nice.
That is fantastic. I got 471 on that last one.
So you're the winner.
I think that I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure somebody else got more than I did. But I started at 789, then 602, now 471. I'm going in the wrong direction. You know what happened though, is I started a new chapter on that last sprint. And sometimes, right, it's okay if you've got the momentum of a chapter, but then when you're starting a new one, I think that kind of slows us down a little bit. Cassie had to go take care of a puppy. That's so important. 441, for goodness gracious. Very, very nice. We are super excited about that. All right. Amy, I'm writing for, I'm sorry, 1,000 great books. Love that. I'm writing for my job, but we'll definitely start writing for my work in progress today. Yes, you will. That is absolutely fantastic. Great job. All right. So let's talk about some of the questions where that came in for Nano. Does making an outline count for your day one Nano word count? I think yes. I think that word count counts. You're working on the book. A lot of people don't do Preptober.
Yeah. If it's words, I guess, yeah, why not count it?
Yeah. For me, I would go like, yeah, I'd count that. I don't know. I have to say I'm not like that much of a stickler, I guess. And the other thing too is for some people, the way that they outline, a lot of that ends up being sort of incorporated into the book. And it's part of it. I would probably count it. If you're not starting with your outline until today, I would count that as your word count. What do you guys think in the chat? Let's see before I pop this up. Do we have anybody? No. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I think about that. All right. This was an interesting question, I thought. Should I tell people I'm doing NaNoWriMo? I don't want to be embarrassed if I don't finish. What do you think about that, Robert?
I think you're always a winner if you're doing it because, like I said, you're getting words down. So there's no real loss involved. I've said that many times in the past. How can you lose by writing?
Right. And it's a big goal. I think I read somewhere like, I don't know, 58% of people in America would like to write a novel at some point in their lives. And most of them never, ever start. So I don't think it's anything to be embarrassed about if you're trying to achieve this goal. I think it's just like, oh, I'd like to climb Mount Everest, or I'd like to, I don't know, organize my pantry, like somewhere in between there. And yeah, I would. The other thing too is if you don't tell people that you're participating in NaNoWriMo because you don't want to be embarrassed, you might also lose out on, some of the opportunities for bonding with other writers, like write-ins that, like the local Barnes and Nobles often have write-ins, and online write-ins like we're doing today. So yeah, I think you miss out if you don't tell people. But I get it. Like if the difference is tell people or don't tell people, and that you'd rather like not do it than tell people, then obviously do it in the dark. But yeah, I think you get more support, and probably the people that you would think might embarrass you might embarrass you, let's face it, but they also might be supportive. So I think
Yeah.
that.
I have to say I've won about half of the nanos that I've done, and I've also done about half of them as a nano rebel, meaning privately. And
Yeah.
it's more fun to do it with other people. It's always
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah, it definitely is. And also, like, if you're writing with a group of people, then and you are communicating with other folks, related to Nano, you have that support too. When a lot of times in the middle of the month or the Thanksgiving, you like Thanksgiving is always rough because almost everybody has to take at least some time off during that holiday, just because they have family around or they have to make a giant 87 course dinner or a million other things it could be. So I think there really is something with that too.
Yeah, and typically the first week of NaNoWriMo goes better than the second week. The second
Yeah.
week is always a bit of a lesser word count.
Well, sure.
And when you're doing it with other people, you kind of get the comparison because there's always people that are doing a little bit better than you and people that are doing a little bit worse than you. But you kind of see that, no matter where you're at, there's other
Right.
people at the same level.
Right. That's exactly true. That's exactly true. Last question before we do our final sprint. How do you track your word count for NaNoWriMo? I will say Scrivener, which is the program that you use, has a lovely word count option. And also it will reshuffle based on your deadline. So if you didn't make your, say you put in 2,000 words a day because you want to try and overshoot that 1,667, give yourself a little cushion for the middle of the month, which is always a good strategy. Then having Scrivener sort of recalculate your word count that you need to hit every day in order to meet your goal on time can be very helpful, unless you're way behind and then it just depresses the hell out of you. I used to use that. I more often just use just a little spreadsheet that I created on my Mac in Numbers. I've used the same one for a long time, and I just copy it, and it just calculates for me it does not calculate how many words I need to do in the event that I fall behind. But
and if you go to the official NaNoWriMo site, they have a little thing where you put your word count in every day and it keeps track of it. So you can see a little graph that goes up and down as your word count goes up and down. You get
That's
badges
true.
when you hit a certain number of words. And that's how you can get the 50% off Scrivener if you actually win. So it's kind of worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, for sure. So that's why I can't believe I did not mention the most obvious one. On the NaNoWriMo website, there is a word count thing. I used to do all the like badges and stuff, and I don't actually participate on the Nano website anymore, just because I did it for years. I always find that like to keep up with that part sometimes ends up being more effort than it's worth. Let's see. I am recording my Nano as 3 sprints a day, 45 minutes to 60 minutes per sprint. Good for you. Maybe we'll do this next week. The ideal length of a sprint is actually something like 52 minutes. I have some super sprint videos on my website that's like a mix of like binaural beats and the ideal that 52-minute length. And I will say you really do knock out a lot of stuff. That's what I actually was using this morning. So, all right, there you go. # time management. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and do our final NaNoWriMo sprint today. It would be super helpful if I got the video up. There we go. All right. So we are going to get started on our last sprint. We're going to make this one count. Everybody's going to get their words. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. You can do this. All right, we are back. We've got we got 4 sprints in today, which is absolutely fantastic. I did better this last one. I got 651 words on that last sprint, so finally caught my whatever. I got back in the groove again.
I only got 267 because I started a new chapter on this one, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with it.
I feel that. I feel that. Let us know in the chat, you guys, how you did in that last sprint. Vixen's here. Hello, Vixen. RC got his first review for the new story. Yay!
Cool.
That is fantastic. Sprint. Very nice. Very nice. Super glad to see that. So I got to add up my words. Like I said, I got like 2,000 this morning.
Yeah, actually, plugging some people. RC has a new book up yesterday, and Dal's novel went live yesterday as well. So,
oh, that's so exciting.
We have a couple of things to celebrate.
I love it when people in our community are publishing. Love, love, love. All right, add it up, you guys. See how you did this time. I know we don't usually do this, but we're going to today. 471, 651. Ooh, holy crap. All right, so I got 2513 for our sprints.
Wow.
I know. And then
you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
2 weeks.
I know. I got 4517 for the day. That's great. But to be fair, I will probably not write as much. Well, I might write this weekend, but I'll probably not write as much for the rest of the weekend. Or for the rest of the month, especially when I'm planning on not working on Thanksgiving. And so the week of Thanksgiving. So we'll see how that goes with my ability to make my word count. So Tasneem got 294 on the last sprint. Very nice. Very nice. Cassie got 172. Woohoo. Love it. 221 for Mama Ward. Cassie's got overall 1320 so far today. You are almost there. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Love, 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 love that. That is absolutely fantastic. You guys are doing great. Let's see. Goodness gracious. 332 this sprint, but I was late. Today's current total 1176. Yay. And you got 1031 for the presentation. It all counts.
Yeah.
All right. That is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Very nice. Well, we are all done today. It's 1:06. Robert, did you have anything that you wanted to say? Any words head out for the afternoon?
About the only thing that's going through my mind is what I said earlier about keeping that calendar early in the day and writing down your goals early on, and how much progress I've made. I usually write about 2,000 words on a good day, and if I come somewhere between 12 and 1,500, I'm okay with that. Using the system, like I sat down the other afternoon in about 2.5 to 3 hours, I had my 2,000 words done. So it's about programming that brain, and once you get on the kick for that, then you start moving forward faster. That's
true.
The nano secret.
That is absolutely the truth. Absolutely the truth. Well, thank you so much for being here, everybody, today. I guess we should do our outros before we go. Robert, do you want to tell everybody a little about you and your channel before we head out?
Sure. And there are nano videos there that I've done every year that I have done nano, so you can check that out. There's some tips. I put various forms of storytelling under a Sherlockian microscope and break down the craft to make your journey and your nano journey easier.
Nice. I just saw this comment come through. Bailey May has 2835 for the day so far. That is phenomenal. You know what you're getting. You've earned it, Bailey. Very nice. I'm so proud of you guys. You've all earned it. You guys have done an amazing job today. I'm Lisa Daly. I'm a traditionally published / indie published author. That makes me a hybrid. I'm sorry, my nano crown is tilting. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're proud of and get it published. This is our first of 4 nano sprints, nano sprint days that we are going to be doing. We will We'll be back here next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time to do more writing sprints and give each other a little love and support for our nano journey. So you guys are awesome. Happy writing. Congratulations for all your hard work today. And we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.